This program is proudly brought to you by Daytech Limited and the National Information and Communications Technology Authority. In this session of In Focus, we are joined by the Chief Executive Officer for the National Information and Communications Technology Authority, Polume Lume. We explore Papua New Guinea's ICT landscape through the role of NICTA, the country's connectivity challenges, and the path towards digital transformation. We also address public questions and misunderstandings around emerging satellite technologies such as LEO services, including Starlink, and how they fit into PNG's existing communications ecosystem. Mr. Lume, Polume,
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Malcolm, for hosting me this evening.
Now, firstly, Lume, can you explain the role and the key mandate of NICTA in Papua New Guinea's ICT sector?
Okay, NICTA stands for National Information Communication Technology Authority, and it's an authority that is established by the Act of Parliament, NICTA Act, that's 2009. And NICTA has a broad mandate that cuts across economic regulation, technical regulation, universal access services. Yeah, so that's basically, the main functions of NICTA. So basically, NICTA has a main focus, particularly around looking at supporting the role on competition, managing competition as well, particularly on, look also as consumer-related matters as well. And also we do have a, very key role that we play around supporting connectivity, and that's through our Universal Access Services program, yeah.
What is the importance of licensing and regulation in the ICT sector?
Well, if you look at it, the licensing and regulation, they're basically the two main key, role that, sort of supports the overall functions of NICTA. So when you look at it, licensing is basically about continue to, open up the markets, continue to provide for the market. And regulation is just basically about, guiding, what you've been licensed. For example, we do have that, role to license any telecommunication operator, and when we do license them, we do have that role as well in terms of ensuring that they operate within the conditions of the license that we have, and it pretty much comes out from regulation. Yeah.
I mean, the ICT sector by its nature is a
Yes.
ever-evolving and fastly transforming sector.
Yes.
How does NICTA balance innovation with regulation?
Okay, so if you look at innovation is basically looking at, technology, and that's what it is. So what NICTA, strive to do is basically to ensure that we create this conducive environment where innovation thrives on. We ensure that, technology, various range of technology are there to support innovation in that space. So that's basically, if you look at that, yeah.
Now, moving to the topic of connectivity and bridging the rural divide, why is connectivity such an important issue for Papua New Guinea?
Well, Malcolm, you know that given the geographical challenges that PNG faced, connectivity is the main agenda to that. Without having a proper connectivity on that, then there's no inclusiveness on that. You need connectivity to bridge in the gaps, to support digital transformation, and to continue to provide an environment where we create this conducive business environment that it operates around.
In your current capacity, what is your long-term vision for rural connectivity?
As it is, when I took office, the coverage, the current stats was around 82% that is covered by 2G, 3G is around 77, and 4G is around 72. If you look at the total connectivity, as in connectivity by landmass of PNG is about 462,000 square kilometers, and I think just about under 50% of the total land mass is covered by telecommunication or asset connectivity coverage on that. So that's a huge, area to sort of work on that. So my, aim is to continue to push the boundaries of connectivity so we can be able to achieve, full coverage across the entire, landmass. So it's a very ambitious goal on that, but look, we are looking at getting there.
The discussion is focused on understanding NICTA's responsibility in licensing, regulation, and innovation, while also considering how improved rural connectivity and digital inclusion can support national development. Now, Lume, how important is digital inclusion for national development?
Well, digital inclusion is critical because of, national development cannot be achieved if larger parts of the population, they remain, disconnected or uncovered. So if you look at digital inclusion, it's all about ensuring that people in the rural areas are connected. And with having, those at the rural areas being connected, you're looking at, supporting connectivity in that space of, areas that are underserved. You're looking at supporting access to education, health, all those, government services that basically, face a lot of, challenge, particularly in terms of delivering those challenges. So having, digital inclusion as an agenda on that basically supports that overall connectivity goal, whether it be road, education, health, whatever it is. One form of getting that connectivity is through the digital connectivity as well.
Is there a notable example that you can perhaps recount?
Well, I think when we did the initial launch, initial licensing of Starlink, I think there's a lot of, success stories coming out in terms of connecting the remotest sites on. And I think I've recently seen a success story from my minister, Honorable Peter Chamalili Jr. I think if you look at his his stories on his web pages on that, you basically see from his village in Soano village on that, yes, they are basically connected with power, telecommunication, and all that. So that's one sort of positive that came about from having a alternate form of connectivity as well.
Moving on to digital transformation and the ICT future for Papua New Guinea, where do you see Papua New Guinea's ICT sector in the next few years?
Well, in the next few years, I see PNG ICT sector becoming more connected, more competitive, and more central to the national development. We'll see more broader network expansion, including rural connectivity, stronger digital government services, greater use of digital platforms, emerging technologies like satellite broadband, digital identity, cloud services, fintech, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence. These are all next lot of, wave of, changes that will come at the back of digital transformation of what's happening right now.
Now, in your view, what does digital transformation mean for an ordinary Papua New Guinean?
Well, for any ordinary Papua New Guineans, digital transformation means that making everyday services faster, easier, and more convenient and accessible. And that's what it is. It means that, people can have access to government services, apply for documents, they make payments, they receive information on time, communication. That's digital transformation. It means a greater access to financial services like mobile banking, digital payments, online learning, telehealth, teleeducation. So that's what it is on digital transformation.
Yes. What role will regulation play as new technologies continue to enter the market?
Well, as it is, regulation will play a very, very critical and important role around ensuring that those new technologies, they enter the market in a fair, safe, and orderly way. So its purpose is not to stop innovation, but to continue to create this confidence and its legal certainty around that so that we continue to support the agenda of digital transformation.
Is there a particular misconception about NICTA that you'd like to clarify for our public?
Yeah, I think this is one area that we're really working at in terms of clearing, the misunderstanding around it. A lot of people continue to misunderstand NICTA's role as a service provider and not as an agency that is responsible for, regulation and, technical regulation, economic regulation, licensing. So they continue to have this, that misunderstanding that we do as a service provider, but we are not.
Moving on to a somewhat of an emerging technology, you touched on it earlier on, the introduction and entrance of Starlink into Papua New Guinea. Why do you believe technologies like low Earth orbit systems provided by Starlink is important?
Well, if you look at the technology itself is pretty much suitable for PNG given the geographical challenges that we faced. And it is quite, deploying connectivity or building infrastructure within that space is capital intensive. It requires a lot of investment in that space. So if you look at that space, LEO technology does offer that, very convenient, source of alternate connection, and that's through the constellation, that's through the satellite constellation on that. So it is it does as a complementary to the existing connectivity options that we have. Apart from fiber and others that we have on that LEO does is basically a complementary connectivity service option on that as well.
Would that result in drop in prices of internet?
Well, that's what it is. If the more access or the more options that you have, you're looking at achieving very competitive offerings around that space.
Now, aside from Starlink, are there any other licensed LEO service providers operating in Papua New Guinea?
As it is, prior Starlink that came in, we did initially with licensed OneWeb. OneWeb does also provide LEO-based services as well. There are prospects of Amazon as well coming into that space as well with Starlink now in space. So you're looking at a very highly sort of competitive market in that space. So you're expecting prices to continue to drop down and options in terms of connectivity of a choice of connectivity there. And I think that's more beneficial to the consumer as well as the business community as well.
Now, Lume, can you elaborate on how services of Starlink and OneWeb complement the existing services provided by current ISPs and MNOs in Papua New Guinea?
Yeah, and I think going back to what I sort of said earlier on that, connectivity has always been a challenge. So particularly for LEO-based services that's supplied by Starlink, they are seen as complementary services to which the operators can be able to use the backhauling. They take that as a transport, alternate, transport network that connects very remote sites coming back into the main centers on that. So it does have a huge benefit as well to the existing MNOs as well.
Now, finally, Lume, what would you like to say to Papua New Guineans regarding what they should look forward to for NICTA in the coming years?
Well, as it is, NICTA is continuing to go through a number of changes at the moment now, and our goal continues to remain in terms of getting connectivity through on that, having Starlink that comes on board. This is one of the key agenda that we're looking at that on that. Very soon we will be looking at licensing 5G as well. So these are all good opportunity to support the digital transformation as well as for consumer and business community as well. So you're giving them good option in terms of pushing the digital connectivity agenda through.
Before we go, we feature a hallmark initiative of NICTA, the Girls in ICT Tertiary Scholarship.
The Girls in ICT Scholarship Program has been running for the last 10 years. And over the last 10 years, we're able to pick up to 40 scholars, particularly young girls that came straight off from grade 12. We took them off from grade 12 all the way up to uni, final year of their studies, and they come from particularly field within ICT related. And there's opportunity to look at other of those related fields in future, but I think for now we've been basically doing that. So for the last 10 years, we picked up 10 out of that, 40. Out of the 40, we're able to have 20, up to 19 of the girls that we picked up, 40 of those that we picked up over the last 10 years, 19 of them graduated, and they're currently working across different sectors, not only within the ICT, but they've picked up jobs in mine and other sector as well. So this is one of the contributions for NICTA, particularly under the Girls in ICT, as we continue to develop young talent within that space. But I think one of the important agenda that NICTA sort of pursued back then was to, give that opportunity as inclusiveness, to support, to give prominence to gender. And I think that's one of the agendas initially when we took up that. But as time goes on, we have other of the government policy that came on board, particularly on digital transformation and stuff like that. So we want to see that as we converge into the future, we want to see that scholarship can now be more focused into targeted government policy, particularly in sustaining the digital transformation agenda. So we want to see that, the young scholars that sit between us, as they complete their studies to pursue formal work employment outside of that, we want to see that you pursue career within digital transformation, cyber security, and these are emerging issues that, we are looking at talented, workforce to sustain those government policy. And one of those key agendas is to continue to develop talents within that space. So those scholarships are meant for that. So we're excited, and we, on behalf of the organization NICTA board, our minister, Acting Minister Chamalili, we'd like to congratulate all 10 scholars here.
As Papua New Guineans, this scholarship has greatly supported our education by easing the financial burden on our parents and families. It has allowed us to continue our studies with less stress and greater focus on our academic goals. As young women, this scholarship represents empowerment and encouragement. It shows that young women are capable and supported in pursuing ICT, in pursuing education and careers in ICT. And it motivates us to work harder and contribute positively to our community and our country. Aside from easing the financial burden on our parents and families, the scholarship has contributed significantly to our personal growth. It has instilled in us discipline, responsibility, and accountability in both our academic and personal life. Being part of this program has encouraged us to uphold strong values and build self-confidence and develop resilience. These experiences have helped shape us into more responsible, respectful, and community-minded citizens. Being part of this program is preparing us for the workforce by teaching us professionalism, time management, and the importance of continuous.
NICTA Girls in ICT Tertiary Scholarship is a relief to Fiona Lepa, who benefited for 4 years and graduated with Bachelor's in Business Information Technology at the 2026 Papua New Guinea University of Technology graduation.
The parents are not employed na time bipla NICTA come on board and relieving me pla. I mean, bisa la kain money lo buy mo school fee me pla logat. Na I'm so grateful for NICTA. Lo, we all get something from the start. First year, second year, third year, and fourth year. Lo ting blue pla, lo support him all picking the Mary, so that we have a balance. Lo the workforce. Because currently, at the moment, all male and only dominating. And that's a very good initiative where NICTA come kamantem na albi more young girls lo sponsoring mo loksim sabe lo driving the community and the country to go forward.
Mr. Lume Polume, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Malcolm, for this evening.
Well, viewers, that ends this episode of In Focus. Do join us again next week, Monday, on our regular time slot of 7 p.m. Till then, bye for now. This program was proudly brought to you by Daytech Limited and the National Information and Communications Technology Authority.